You ever watch a house of cards collapse in slow motion? That's what the WNBA All-Star Game just became. And one name was at the center of it all: Caitlin Clark. The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game was supposed to be a celebration, a coming-out party for the league, its players, and its soaring popularity. It had momentum, media coverage, and sold-out crowds. But that momentum came to a screeching halt on July 13th. That's when Jacy Sheldon's knee made direct contact with Caitlin Clark's groin during a seemingly routine play. Clark collapsed, grabbing at her leg in obvious pain. No whistle, no foul, no review. And within days, Clark was ruled out of the All-Star Game. Fans were furious, not just because of the hit, but because of what it represented. The league's brightest star had been injured, and no one in charge seemed to care. The results were immediate. Ticket prices plummeted 48% overnight. Ratings collapsed by 36%. A game that should have showcased the league's strength revealed its most glaring weakness. The WNBA is completely dependent on Caitlin Clark. It started like any normal possession. The Indiana Fever were pushing up the court, but Jacy Sheldon wasn't focused on the ball. She zeroed in on Caitlin Clark. With one powerful step, she drove her knee directly into Clark's groin. The contact was unmistakable. You could see Clark's reaction in real time. A grimace of pain, her body folding in on itself, clutching at her leg. But the refs didn't flinch. No foul, no call, just silence. This wasn't basketball. This was a blatant, uncalled cheap shot. And for Clark, it wasn't the first. All season long, Clark has taken more abuse than any other player in the league. Elbows to the face, shoves, eye pokes. She gets hacked constantly and rarely gets the calls. But Sheldon's hit was the one that broke everything. It wasn't just another missed call. It was a turning point. There were 3 referees on the court when the Sheldon play happened. All 3 had a clear view. Not one blew their whistle. Not one reviewed the footage. Not one stood up to protect the league's biggest star. And that's what stings the most. It's not just about Caitlin Clark. It's about what this league has allowed to happen. A pattern of inconsistent officiating, a refusal to protect players, and an unwillingness to admit fault. Fans are tired of it. They've seen Clark take abuse game after game, only for the referees to swallow their whistles. Meanwhile, every touch foul against her team, the Indiana Fever, gets called. The double standard isn't subtle, it's blatant, and it's damaging the league from the inside out. Before Clark's injury, the 2025 All-Star Game was on track to be the most expensive in WNBA history. Average ticket prices hit $262. The cheapest seats were going for $121. This wasn't just a game, it was a full-blown event. Then, the injury announcement hit. Within hours, the get-in price dropped from $121 to $64. That's a 48% nosedive. Fans dumped their tickets. Listings flooded StubHub and Vivid Seats. People were willing to lose money just to avoid watching an All-Star Game without Caitlin Clark. The message was clear. Without Clark, it's not worth the price. Gainbridge Fieldhouse had never looked so empty. For the first time in recent memory, fans skipped a major WNBA event. Sections that were supposed to be filled with Clark jerseys and screaming fans were dotted with empty chairs. Every Indiana Fever home game has been sold out since Clark joined the league. But without her, the place was quiet, hollow, lacking energy. This wasn't a coincidence. It was a fan boycott. People weren't just disappointed, they were fed up. They were tired of seeing their favorite player get abused and ignored, and they made their voices heard by staying silent. It wasn't just the league that took a hit. The entire city of Indianapolis felt it. Merchandise sales dropped. Concession stands sat half full. Restaurants and bars near the arena saw less traffic. Hotels that had been booked out began reporting last-minute cancellations. The Clark effect doesn't just impact the game. It transforms entire neighborhoods. From merchandise to meals, her presence means money. Without her, it was just another Saturday. Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, all elite players, all all-stars, but none of them could replace the void Clark left behind. The All-Star Game featured every big name in the WNBA, yet ratings still dropped 36% from last year. Ticket prices still collapsed. Fan engagement disappeared. This isn't a knock on their talent. It's about star power. It's about who moves the needle. Right now, that's only one player, Caitlin Clark. The WNBA tried to market the game around its stars, but the results spoke louder. The fans weren't interested. The timing couldn't have been worse. Right as fans were digesting the news of Clark's injury, WNBA players took the court for warm-ups wearing shirts that read, "Pay us what you owe us." What was supposed to be a show of unity turned into a PR nightmare. To fans, it felt tone-deaf, entitled, like players were demanding more money while the one athlete actually generating that money sat injured and unsupported. The backlash was swift. Social media lit up with criticism. The shirts became a symbol of everything wrong with the league's messaging. Commissioner Cathy Engelbert finally addressed the officiating, but her comments only made things worse. Instead of admitting the problem, she downplayed it. Instead of holding referees accountable, she defended them. She framed the issue as a difference in expectations, not a failure in enforcement. Fans weren't buying it. They'd seen too many missed calls, too many uncalled fouls, too many dangerous plays. Engelbert's response felt like gaslighting, and it drove the wedge between the league and its fans even deeper. Let's be real. Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA looks like every other struggling sports league. Inconsistent, unsupported, and lacking star power. With her, it becomes electric. Her regular season games outdraw the All-Star Game. Her presence sells out arenas. Her jerseys fly off the shelves. Her games dominate social media. The data is clear. The future is Caitlin Clark. If the WNBA wants to survive, it needs to protect her, promote her, support her, because without her, all the momentum the league has built will vanish overnight. The 2025 All-Star Game was supposed to be a triumph. Instead, it exposed the truth. This league lives and dies by one player, and if they don't fix that, starting with officiating, leadership, and fan trust, they might not get another shot.
I love that way for Cathy. Not everyone is cheering for Clark. That much is clear. Veterans who spent years grinding in the WNBA without attention now find themselves outshone by a rookie. Some are embracing the spotlight Clark brings, others not so much. There's tension, jealousy, frustration. Some players feel Clark is being given too much, too quickly. But fans aren't fooled. They know what's real. Clark is the reason they watch. If the league wants unity, they need to address that tension, not ignore it.
Here's the good news. It's not too late. The WNBA still has a shot to capitalize on the wave Clark has created. But they need real change. That means better officiating, transparent leadership, smarter marketing, a clear, unapologetic commitment to protecting star players, and most importantly, listening to the fans. This moment can be a breaking point or a turning point. The league has to choose. The fallout from Clark's injury wasn't just on the court. It played out across headlines and timelines. Sports talk shows, podcasts, and digital platforms were flooded with debates about how the WNBA handled the entire situation. But something strange happened. While independent creators and smaller outlets called out the officiating, the bigger sports media networks played it safe. They tiptoed around the incident, framing it as unfortunate or controversial, instead of calling it what it was, a league-endangering moment of neglect. Why the hesitance? Some say it's about access. Others believe it's politics. Either way, it left fans turning to YouTube and Twitter instead of ESPN for the real story. And when fans have to rely on viral clips and user threads for truth, the credibility of the league's partners begins to crumble. The issue goes even deeper. Many fans feel there's a coordinated effort to downplay anything that puts the WNBA in a negative light. Headlines are softened, analysis is watered down, and interviews avoid the hard questions. This kind of media control doesn't just mislead the public, it insults them. The selective coverage created a credibility gap. Influencers and small content creators picked up the slack, providing slow-mo breakdowns, analytics, and frame-by-frame analysis of the Sheldon hit. The most viral coverage of the incident didn't come from ESPN or Bleacher Report. It came from TikTok creators, independent blogs, and YouTube videos. This shift in who controls the narrative has real consequences. When legacy media won't ask tough questions, fans lose faith. And without media pressure, leagues are never held accountable. It's a cycle that shields the powerful and punishes the passionate. Clark's injury could have sparked a real conversation about player safety, officiating standards, and league bias. Instead, it became a whisper in corporate media rooms. In the long run, this damages the league more than a headline ever could. Because silence speaks volumes, and right now, fans hear it loud and clear. Beyond basketball, Caitlin Clark is a brand. Her value isn't just in points scored, it's in merchandise sold, TV deals signed, and stadiums packed. Brands line up to be associated with her. She's drawn comparisons to the likes of Steph Curry and LeBron James, not just for her play, but for her impact. Nike, Gatorade, Fanatics, they all know what the WNBA is only beginning to understand. Caitlin Clark is a marketing machine. When she's on the floor, she brings casual fans into the fold. She turns skeptics into ticket buyers. She bridges generations and brings new eyes to women's sports. And when she's not there, the bottom line suffers. That's not theory. It's measurable, visible, and undeniable. The Clark effect is so profound that some teams even see away game revenue boosts when she's in town. Local restaurants, parking vendors, and hotel managers know to prepare for a spike in business when the fever come to play. Her jersey consistently ranks among the best-selling items in sports. Media outlets report surges in viewership, often doubling or tripling normal ratings when Clark is featured. Corporate sponsorships now center campaigns around her image, highlighting her as a generational talent and cultural icon. But despite all this, the league still hasn't fully embraced her unique power. Rather than making her the face of the league, something the NBA eagerly did with Jordan and LeBron, the WNBA seems hesitant, maybe even resentful. That reluctance is costing them. Because Clark doesn't just elevate herself, she brings the entire league up with her. Other players benefit. Team valuations rise. Broadcast deals become more lucrative. This is what star power does. It creates an ecosystem of success. The league has a choice. They can treat Clark like a lightning rod or a lighthouse. But if they continue to minimize her market power, they risk letting their biggest assets slip through their fingers.
More than anything, fans want to believe that the league cares. They want to feel like the game is fair, that stars will be protected, that effort will be rewarded, that their investment in tickets, jerseys, and time isn't misplaced. But after Clark's injury and the league's silence, that trust is fading fast. It's not about special treatment, it's about equal treatment. Fans aren't demanding perfection from referees or loyalty from the media. They just want transparency, accountability, consistency. If they don't get it soon, they may stop showing up at all.
The erosion of trust isn't always loud. It can happen in silence. A fan who once watched every game now skips one. A family that used to attend home games finds other ways to spend their weekend. Social media engagement tapers off. Merch sales slow. These small cracks spread until the foundation is compromised. The league has an opportunity to regain control, acknowledging mistakes, improving officiating, and openly communicating with fans can rebuild faith. But pretending everything is fine only makes the problem worse. There's also the issue of hypocrisy. Fans saw players wear "pay us what you owe us" shirts, while the one player who clearly brought value was ignored and injured. That visual sent a strong, unintended message: entitlement without accountability. Trust is the currency of fandom. Once lost, it's hard to earn back. And right now, the league is burning through it fast. What happens next will define the WNBA for the next decade. Do they double down on denial, pretend the All-Star game was a success, hope the outrage dies down? Or do they own the mistakes, fix officiating, embrace star power, elevate the product? The path is clear if they choose to take it. Because while Caitlin Clark might be the spark, the league still has to build the fire. And right now, they're letting it burn out. It's not too late, but time is running out. The WNBA has been gifted a once-in-a-generation opportunity, a transcendent talent with crossover appeal, a player who captures headlines, unites fans, and expands the sport. Ignoring that gift would be the league's biggest blunder. It's time to stop being afraid of Clark's dominance. It's time to embrace it, create safety protocols, hold referees to higher standards, protect the investment, use her story to grow the game. Because if the league doesn't do it, someone else will. Whether it's a rival league, overseas offers, or media outlets hungry for her spotlight, the world is watching. The WNBA must decide what kind of league it wants to be, one that rises with its stars, or one that resents them into leaving. After all the headlines and fallout, one thing is clear. This was a wake-up call for the WNBA. Caitlin Clark brought the spotlight. Now it's on the league to decide what to do with it. Will they step up and protect their stars, or let the moment slip away? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more updates on the WNBA and Clark's journey. Thanks for watching.